Keep rolling and rolling
No,
and
we're
rolling
never
and rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling.
Welcome to the round of 32. Did you see that shit mixed martial arts podcast?
Yeah, not so March Madness, March Madness.
And it really isn't a podcast. We're just the guys from the Did You See That Shit Mixed Martial Arts podcast. I am Mike Straus, aka Straus21.
And I'm Apollo Taje Mahal, and we are the fastest growing podcast out there.
One of them, yes.
Stop being so humble.
And yeah, if you guys don't know, follow us on social media, DYSTSP. There's a little underscore in between there. Just look for orange, smiley face, poop in his eyes. That is us.
By the way, I've named him Franklin.
Franklin, I'll go with it. That
Yes.
sounds. He looks like a Franklin.
It definitely looks like a Franklin.
I once knew Franklin had mouth just that size, so it is an unusual thing.
I know someone named Franny with mouth that size.
That's a separate live stream, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, guys, go ahead, like all social media. I am aka Straus21. He is Apollo T. Mahal. And
Apparently,
yeah,
Apollo Taje Mahal was a person on Twitter. I had no clue.
well, you'd be surprised, man. It's unbelievable how far-reaching all these social media platforms are. It's truly incredible.
Oh, yeah.
So if you guys don't know, we have been doing this little. Well, we had an idea since March Madness. We know it's April. We're gonna get this thing done here real soon. But basically, we took 64 of the best mixed martial artists, combat sports fighters in the world, paired them up, and well, we're done with the first round. This is day one of the round of 32. We're gonna hammer through.
Yeah. Also,
hammer through two brackets today. So yeah, we're gonna do.
and if you think that we left somebody out, too bad.
Yeah,
You're too late.
Way too late. Way too late. Go watch bracket one and or the even
then
the
complain to
pre-bracket.
them.
And then you could explain to us there. Or
Yeah.
complain to us there and see if we listen. I doubt we will.
I'll go back in time.
So yeah, real quick, guys. If you look at our headphones, you're like, those are fucking amazing. You can own a pair. Leaks Pro. Go to leakspro.com, lyxpro.com, and use the promo code Straus21. Save yourself 15% on these amazing fucking headphones. Seriously,
Yeah.
Leaks Pro is an amazing company, guys. They have everything you need if you're thinking about starting a podcast of your own. You need all the gear, or if you just want some fucking awesome headphones, they have it all.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. Do we get a promo code?
Yeah, Straus21.
Oh, man. So if you want these very headphones, you just go to leaksproaudio.com. Leaks Pro. All right, I apologize. But
What's going on? Leakspro.com.
leakspro.com.
Someone's stoned.
Yo, this is why I'm done. I'm done hanging out with you. You get me too crazy.
Okay, so let's get into it, guys. Dan Severn, Frank Edgar. Ooh.
Oh my lord. I'm sorry, Frank. Edgar,
Franklin.
and Frank. I'm going with Dan Severn.
Okay. Why and how?
Just size. It's not at this point. He's just too big. Frankie Edgar is fast, quick. He can obviously, I think, piece him up on the feet. But Dan Severn, because Frankie Edgar's range has always kind of been in that mid-range to close. He's very good with his boxing on
He's
the
not
inside.
the rangiest guy in the world.
No, he's not. He's not a kicker. If he was more of a kicker and more lanky, kind of with his range, I could give him more of a fight. But the minute he kind of goes in there trying to box or go for a takedown, it's like gonna be like watching a cub wrestle a bear. Like it's like, you know, a kid wrestling his dad. It's it's gonna look hilarious. He's gonna try to take him down and he's gonna just like hold him, and Dan Severn's gonna just choke him out.
Yeah, you know, I'm a fan of both these guys. I'm a huge fan of both these guys. But yeah, it's hard to go against. Dan Severn is almost tailor-made for competitions like this.
Oh yeah.
Because although he may not be the fastest, the strongest, the most technically adept, he might be the toughest, but he might not be any of those other things. But something about him, goddamn, is he a fucking hard guy to beat, especially in a competition like this.
Oh yeah, he's too strong.
And, you know, Frank Yeager has an incredible skill set, but yeah, there's just too much size, too much strength there. I got to go Severn. And if you guys are new to this, shame on you, go watch the other episodes. But the way I like to do this is kind of like to envision how I think this fight would go. And as Apollo said, I think that Frankie would probably piece him up on the feet, however long it decided to stay there. But Severn would take it down eventually or get close enough. And you're right. Once Severn grabbed him, if he wanted to, I get the feeling Severn could rip Frankie's arms off of his body.
Oh yeah. Now, if this was a video game, Frankie Edgar would then run away and throw things at him until his shields went down.
Right.
Because
block weekend.
Because that's kind of how this would look like.
So yeah, we'll go Severn there. So how about this next one, man? Jose Aldo, Frank Mir. Interesting.
This one's tough. This one's weird because I think Jose would, same thing as he would do to Dan Henderson,
To anybody.
destroy their legs. But once you destroy his legs, he's going to the ground. Are you going to, you then have to go down there. And then again, it's giant bear wrestling with little cub. And this giant bear has ripped off everybody's arm.
Ooh, that's a tough
and
one.
Tim Sylvia and in Antonio Minotauro Nogueira. So I'm going to say the scary Papa Bear is going to rip off the little baby bear's arms.
So you're going to say Frank Mir.
I'm going to go with Frank Mir because I think Frank Mir would obviously just lie on his back after he got leg kicked a couple times or shin kicked or, you know, whatever. And then eventually Jose has to go down there to fight him, like sooner or later. Let's say he somehow just amazingly beats him on the feet. Well, the fight will go down to the ground. I don't think he'll flat out KO him. So when he gets on the ground, this fight's going to the ground some way or the other. Like either Frank's taking it there or Jose knocked him down there. Like, so then Frank Mir's just gonna rip off his limbs.
Yeah, this one's interesting, man. You pretty much said it, right? I guess, although I think he is, he's faster by
A mile.
Yeah, by leaps and bounds, right? I don't know if he's stronger. Probably not, right? Frank is a big guy.
Frank walks around in his prime at 240, 230.
I think jiu-jitsu, I think Frank is, I don't know, people sleep on Jose. He's a black belt in his own right, but Frank might have a little bit of an advantage. But I don't know. This one's tough, man. I don't know how I see this one going. I think, yeah, definitely. I think Jose would chop his legs out from under him. And Frank might get lazy, or maybe Frank wouldn't be lazy. Maybe he would check some, but eventually, right?
Yeah.
Eventually, he might get to the point, like you said, where he goes to the ground, and then at that point, that's where it really gets interesting, because then what? Then what? Can Frank Mir choke out Jose Aldo in his prime? Okay. Maybe he couldn't. Maybe he couldn't. Let's say Frank couldn't. Let's say he can't choke him out. What's your alternative? Can Jose Aldo, can he finish Frank from the top? How does he?
He doesn't. It's.
I don't think he could.
I know this is like, I feel like this is really just David versus Goliath in some of these beginning fights, but it's just the way of the world.
I think I'm gonna say Frank Mir because I really don't see a way Aldo can beat him.
I can't either. There's
that's why I'm
no
gonna say Mir.
way. It's just now something that makes more sense.
Yeah, Gegard Mousasi, Tyron Woodley.
Have they fought in the
I
past?
feel like they have.
I don't know. They were both in Strikeforce. Taiwan was a middleweight for a very short period of time.
Yeah, I feel like I should know this.
Oh yeah, I don't know, man. I'm gonna. Ooh, Tyron Woodley. I would say now.
Yeah, I feel like I should know.
Would a
this.
Mousasi beat him? Ooh, that's hard because it's Tyron. Who's Tyron had issues with? He's had issues with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. He's had issues with Luke Rockhold, but I think he would piece up Luke now. He's had issues with Nate Marquardt, but he was still very young. You know what? I'm gonna have to go with a Tyron over Mousasi. I think he's too strong, too powerful. Where Mousasi was losing to Chris Weidman in his last fight, and he didn't look that he didn't look that impressive in his Bellator debut. He looked good, but he just, you can tell he has an issue with fighters and explosive people. So I think Tyron has proven he has a motor. He's proven he also has conditioning.
Sorry, I was rescheduling with Steve Cazzola, the fighter, Steve Cazzola.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, so I'm going to go with Tyron because I just think that his wrestling, his power, and now we know he is conditioned and knows how to pace himself and has a very high fight IQ. I don't see Mousasi beating him in any area except for stand-up, and I don't think Tyron would allow him to control the stand-up.
Yeah, this one, man, like you said, I feel like these guys might have fought in Strikeforce already.
That would give me a better indication, by the way.
But, let's say they're both in their prime. Well, Woodley is a guy that I have really come to respect, especially now. I'm not talking about him as a person now, although I don't really have anything against him. I'm just talking about him as an athlete now, as a fighter. I've really come to respect him as a fighter, man. And I've always respected Mousasi. Always been a fan. But I just don't. How do you get by Woodley? Because can Mousasi outstrike Woodley? Probably. However, Woodley isn't just going to let him strike him. Woodley has good movement. He does have good takedowns. So if Woodley wanted to, he could take Mousasi to the ground. And Woodley's got some very good ground and pound. And we have seen Mousasi's weakness, his Achilles heel, have been good wrestlers. King Mo and a number of wrestlers have handled Mousasi. So you're right, Woodley would win this one, I think, probably fairly easily. The last one in this bracket here is going to be Vitor Belfort versus Cain Velasquez. I'll go here.
Yeah, you do this one.
This one's tricky, man, because again, Cain Velasquez is a lot bigger than Vitor Belfort. In their prime, probably a good, 20, 25 pounds, maybe 30 pounds, maybe, I don't know, but that's not a sloppy 25 pounds either. That's a in shape cardio Cain, 30 pounds. I don't know, man, because Vitor Belfort in his prime was so explosive. He would just rush you, and he didn't need cardio because he would take you out so quick. Cain's got a decent chin. Cain's got very good wrestling. People forget that Vitor has really, really good jiu-jitsu because he fell in love with striking so much, and even in a later part of his career, fell in love with high kick, wheel kick knockouts, a la Rockhold.
Rockhold never lived that down.
So this one's weird, man. I think that probably what would happen is Vitor would probably rush him. Cain would probably time a takedown, get it to the ground. I think Cain would probably control it for a while. I think Vitor in his prime maybe would get up to his feet, but only to get taken down repeatedly and repeat process until Vitor just doesn't have it anymore and Cain beats the fuck out of him. That's what I'm going to go with. I think Cain eventually would just beat this guy up.
It would look a lot like Junior Dos Santos 2 and 3. I honestly think that I think people forget how great Cain was and how much of a beast that man was in his heyday.
Man, I think he was personally a little overrated, but he was good.
Oh man, I think I honestly believe
I wanted to see more.
I wanted to see more. I don't think he lived up to the hype because his hype was the greatest of all time. He didn't live up to it, and I don't think it's due to skill level or talent. I think it's just due to injury and the fact that he was not available. And sometimes the best trait is availability.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's true.
Yeah, so I'm going to say Cain Velasquez in his prime, destroying JDS and making Brock Lesnar spin like he's Ring Around the Rosie, pocket full of posy. I'm going to go with Cain.
All right. So that is that bracket then, right?
Yep, we are on the bracket 2, and the first one up is actually a very interesting one. It's an interesting one.
GSP, Jacare Souza.
The guy was such a cool nickname. That's not even his real name, and we keep calling him it.
I know.
The dude, it's on his fighting shorts. That is hilarious. As like his first name.
For people who don't know what he's talking about, Jacare means alligator.
Yeah,
obviously the man's name's not Alligator Souza.
What's his real?
Ronaldo. His name is Ronaldo Jacare Souza. Yeah.
Yo, so Brazilians, I'm going to make a case, have the best nicknames because I don't even call them by their real names half the time.
Yeah, that's true.
There's very few Brazilians I've actually called by their name.
That's funny because that is true. But who do you like in this fight? And
GSP.
Why?
Yes.
Why?
GSP, because I've seen what GSP can do to elite grapplers, and I see what he can do to elite strikers. I can see what he can do against elite wrestlers. You can make a case that that GSP is probably one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time. Because not only has he beaten the old generation, he's beaten he's beaten the oldest generation, the kind of, Matt Hughes, Chuck Liddell generation. He's also beaten the new generation, and the Johnny Hendricks of the world, even though that wasn't really a loss, but, Carlos Condens and people like that. So I think he is too much in every area. He's just good enough on the ground to make sure that Jacare doesn't choke him out and squeeze the life out of him. And I think he's good enough on the feet to dictate where the fight's going to go. And I think he's good enough as a wrestler to dictate where the fight's going to go. I think, GSP in his prime, this would be just a guy completely outclassing another guy because the other guy can't do anything. I don't think Jacare could do anything. He would try to take it to the ground, and GSP is such a great wrestler. He'll dictate that. He'll try to stand up with him. Well, GSP is a much better striker. I don't see him being able to honestly outstrike him. So there's nowhere where I don't see the one place where he probably could outclass GSP. I don't think he can get him.
Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Into an advantageous position.
Yeah, and, GSP is no slouch, man. He's a John He's working with the John Donahue Death Squad, man. That dude is a legit. And, looking at his chokeout of Michael Bisping, that was a legit, rear naked. That was, Joe Rogan was talking about how it's hard with the gloves and you normally put your hand on the back of the head, but he actually went flush like a karate chop, which is hard to do. So his jiu-jitsu is top notch.
Yeah, this is a crazy one, man, because I feel like I say that for everyone, but this whole thing is crazy when you're taking the best of the best, right?
Yeah.
But I think the way that you played it out is fairly accurate. I just don't know if Jacare, again, would have enough to beat George. You're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? You keep the fight standing, George is going to piece you up. You bring it to the ground, George is going to fuck you up. Well, but you have to bring it to the ground because that's really your only chance at winning, right?
Yeah, but are you strong enough to control that man?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to have to go George here.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we'll go George.
I love you, Jacare, but I'm going George.
So how about this one? Rocky Marciano, John Jones, one of the best boxers of all time, the only undefeated heavyweight champion boxer of all time ever.
Used to be one of the only undefeated boxers of all time, period.
Going against who many think was the best mixed martial arts fighter of all time, John Jones.
And you know what? This is a true battle of the greatest of their sport.
Absolutely.
And anybody who wants to disagree against Rocky, boxing has not changed that much in that amount of time. Yes, there might be a case that he shouldn't have been a true heavyweight because he's very small, but still, he was one of the greatest. I am saying that and giving my respect to him. John Jones would easily win this fight for the simple fact that John Jones is a crazy, coked up juice head that can beat legit anybody waking out of bed and snorting a bump of coke and then hitting people on the way in his car to the cage. He doesn't need to train, and he's as good as he is. So I'm gonna say John Jones. He's too long. He's too lanky. He's too.
How dare you?
He's a great wrestler.
He's too lanky.
He's too lanky. He's too long, man.
So's my penis. Doesn't mean it's gonna win this tournament.
No, he's too long. He even Daniel Cormier said that he is strong.
How dare you?
Daniel Cormier said he's strong.
All right, can I go?
I'm going John Jones.
Can I go?
Yeah.
Yeah, how could you go against John Jones? What the fuck? I mean,
I thought you're like, how dare you? How dare you? And you're like, how the fuck can you go against John Jones? I'm not an idiot. I was about to legit. If you said Rocky, I was about to clown your ass.
I'm a huge Rocky Marciano fan, but no, John Jones is just too good. I think that John Jones has fought better guys already.
Oh yeah.
Than him. So
I feel like Rocky. I feel like there's one dude, like old Italian dude in the barbershop, like. Oh, Rocky Marciano, you don't even know he could beat the whole world.
Yeah, he will fuck that Monjano.
He
what are you talking about?
That dude. You don't even know.
Monjano, that fucking eggplant.
Get that fucking name. Like, they would say, like, horrible words. Definitely. And the same will go for any, like, we'll one day be those old people. I can't wait.
Yeah,
we're going to be talking.
I am right now.
We're going to be talking mad shit. Just be sitting there and be like, oh, you would never beat a Frank Trick.
I have gray ball hair. You know, seriously.
Gray ball hair?
Yeah.
Yo.
My body just is like, fuck it. We're not
Does it
even,
make your balls look distinguished?
Yeah.
Like they kind of know some shit.
Yeah,
Do you just start asking your? I would just start asking your dick for opinions. Just like, how should I do this?
My balls have been some places. Trust me. They've seen some things.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start asking your balls for financial advice.
Yeah, seriously.
You
You can treat it like your own personal 8-ball.
Oh God, yeah. I'd be like,
Then
yo,
you call Mike Strauss's 8-balls. Strauss 21's 8-balls.
Nah, Strauss
Hit us
is
up at
magic
Patreon
balls.
if you really want to see us develop that, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, John Jones. Next one, Anthony Joshua against Yo Daddy, Daniel Cormier.
I can't go against my father. It's Daniel Cormier.
Really?
Yes, Daniel Cormier.
Convince me.
All right, simple. He's
Time's up.
he's gonna throw him. He's gonna throw him.
He is gonna throw him.
You saw how he threw Josh
He's
Barnett?
gonna throw him on his head.
Yes, actually. I don't listen. Let's just go to highlight of Strike Force. Just hella head throws. He threw Dan Henderson. Yeah. He ragdolled Dan Henderson, an Olympic wrestler. You know what he did to Dan Henderson? Dan Henderson wakes up now with nightmares of that throw.
He might.
Like he sometimes gets vertigo from that throw.
So how does DC beat him though? Like, be specific here. Yeah, he throws him, but like, all right. So they're squared off.
Anthony's gonna try to be like.
Obviously, he's gonna try to box him.
He's gonna try to box him. He's gonna be like, oh, I can keep him on the outside. No, he's fat, but he's quick. Daniel Cormier is in. Listen,
knock out a Bigfoot Silva.
Oh yeah, and he's quick in his head movement, and he's able to dash. He's not fast; he's quick. There's a difference. Big dudes were able to be quick. So it's quick. He dashes in there. He then gets a hold of a leg. As soon as he gets a hold of a leg, we say bye-bye to Joshua. He's going to go flying. He's going to find a whole new meaning of freedom. And honestly, I feel bad that this is here because Joshua would probably beat a couple of dudes on this list. But the fact he has to go against my father, he's not going to win.
Yeah. We actually already picked Anthony Joshua. You know, he beat Rory McDonald already.
Yeah, you know.
So I don't know. I don't think he gets past DC either because DC's boxing, I think, is nowhere near the level of Anthony Joshua. However, DC, I think, is a good enough athlete and has a good enough understanding of boxing to not be the recipient of a KO punch, you know, or a finishing sequence of punches. And I think he would eventually. Listen, if Cormier got that within an arm's reach, it would probably be a wrap. So
this is interesting.
I have to go DC.
This is interesting. There's a chance that DC might be facing John Jones later in the Final Four.
Yeah, you're looking like ahead though. So
I'm sorry.
That far down.
Elite Eight. I'm just saying, guys.
So DC.
There's some interesting matchups further on.
Last fight in this bracket, guys, on the live stream: Anderson Silva, Muhammad Ali. This is crazy.
I quit. I can't do it. No.
All right. So let me see here. So you guys, they're going to be standing, right?
I'm going to have an old black man yell at me for what I'm about to say.
Muhammad Ali is going to obviously try to strike him, punching. And Anderson's probably going to, if it's prime Anderson, he's going to be throwing some leg kicks. Muhammad Ali probably, I think, would be on the outside of those. I think Muhammad Ali could probably be effective at range. But then I think, fuck, man. If Muhammad Ali wouldn't be able to KO Muhammad Ali on the way in, I'm sorry. If Muhammad Ali couldn't KO Anderson Silva on the way in, Anderson Silva would remind everybody what he did to Rich Franklin.
Knees,
that clinch,
knees,
man.
Knees.
That clinch.
Or Steven Seagal front kick.
Or Steven Seagal invisible karate chop, and you just fall to the ground.
Oh, my God. You know what? I'm going to... who do you pick?
I think I'm going to go Anderson Silva here.
I got to get my hair cut, so I can't get a bunch of old black men yelling at me at the barbershop. So I'm going to go with whatever you said. I can't say it.
Anderson Silva?
I can't say it.
Why?
Because I got to get my hair cut.
When?
Like soon. And I can't. I walk into a barbershop, old black men go, hey, you know how great Muhammad Ali was? You know how great Muhammad Ali was. You know, I remember when he was Cassius Clay. Muhammad Ali is
watching the live stream?
Guarantee.
Okay.
If I got to get a haircut, they get dirt on me so they can talk smack about me. I can't say it. I'm not going to say it. but I say what you said.
I don't know who I said that. I forgot. I've been smoking a lot of cannabis in my dreams.
I can't say it. I'm not saying it. Don't you try to goat me into this shit.
All right.
Don't you try to goat me into this shit.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna come in here with a fucked up ass haircut. I'm gonna be so mad at you. My dad's gonna call me.
So it rhymes with Schmanderson, Hilma.
Yeah, one of them Silvas in Brazil. Like, them motherfuckers.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that half. We'll be back shortly, not today, very soon, with the second half of the run of 32, and then we'll just fucking finish the whole thing up.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, subscribe, love us, love my great distinguished nutsack.
Oh, yeah, dude. I'm gonna, they told me to get a 401k. I'm gonna have to get one.
What? Where'd that go?